G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, that last video I did where I tried to cast some aluminium in an old sardine tin, I think that's scarred me for life. I'll never be the same again after that bloody episode. But anyway, nothing like that's going to deter me, so we'll keep pushing on. And I had a couple of comments from viewers. Eddie the Grouch was one. He said, well, look, why don't you just try lost foam casting? And that's something I've been wanting to try for a very, very long time, but it's just a matter of getting around to these things. And anyway, so I'm going to have a crack at it. I'll do a test cast today and I'll try that. That's a lot more sensible idea, I think. And I like the concept of lost foam casting because you can make any shape without any really fancy equipment, and you basically just make up a mould out of some foam, coat it with plaster of Paris, except for one end, and put it in some sand, and then pour in the molten aluminium. The foam melts away. The plaster of Paris keeps the shape of the foam, and at the end, when it cools down, you just knock off the plaster of Paris, and you're good to go. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a test cast today just to see how it goes. Now, I did keep some foam out of it, packing from TVs and fridges and things that I picked up. I was going to use that, and I was sort of, gluing it together with a bit of Aquadir and that, and just to sort of build it up. And I looked at it, and then you realise that it's not even really regular. The top bit is sort of good, but the bottom bit, you've got a taper in it. So using scrap foam, I thought, nah, it's really not a good idea. So I'll go and buy some foam. I'll spend real money and do something with buying some new stuff. So I've salvaged the aluminium that ran everywhere, including that old bit that was in the tin, and I bought some foam board, and I'll show you what I bought. Okay, this is the stuff. It's called multi-use foam board. If it's down on your head you can read that, and it's pretty cheap to buy. A great big sheet of this stuff for $12, and it's got a nice finish on it, and you can see where I've just cut out a test piece with my bandsaw, just my woodworking bandsaw did that. Did quite a neat job. I haven't got a hot wire or anything, but just a bandsaw did a nice clean job of it. And then you can just sort of smooth it off on the linisher if you want to get it really good. And yeah, so just this morning I did a quick video where I tried test cast. Here's the test piece, which is that piece of foam I cut out, and all I've done is coated it with some sloppy plaster of Paris. I just put it on with a little paint scraper, just left it open on one end, made it bigger than I needed it to be. I could actually use this. I mean, if this works out, this is a usable a bit of stuff. So looks like I might have separated a bit now. I hope it. Oh well. See how it goes. Not sure what's happening there. Oh well. I'm not going to muck around. I'll stick it in and give it a go, and hope for the best. So I'm just going to use a coffee tin, put it in there, put sand all around it, and then just pouring out molten aluminium. I didn't, doing it this way, just a small piece to test it will be good. A good way to go about it, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, stay tuned. Well, we'll see what happens. It doesn't look too promising. That's not quite what I expected. This might be so bad after all. Gotcha. Wow, look at that. Huh. Underneath all that smoke and bubble looks some half decent stuff. I'll be buggered. I never thought that was going to look like that after all that bubbling and carrying on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know if that's as good as it's supposed to be, but all that bubbling looked a bit weird to me. Clean up, but it's not as good as I expected it to be by a long stretch. Maybe that foam is not the right stuff. No, we'll see. We'll clean it up and see what it looks like. Well, there she is. It actually turned out reasonably okay, except that I'm going to have to clean it up. I thought it would have been better than that. I thought it would have been pretty much a perfect cast, but I'm not sure whether that foam is really the right stuff. I might check my plastic company near me and see if they've got the old polystyrene type stuff, which I think would just go fizz a lot quicker than this. This stuff's a little bit more dense. I'll go over this with the fly cutter. I'll just cut it off with the bandsaw and then clean up the fly cutter, and then it probably will be okay. But yeah, I made a bit of a mistake. I was standing downwind when she went in, and all the smoke and the flames all blew towards me. Plus, if I ever did this again, I'd make sure I use the long-handled crucible so I don't get anywhere near all the smoke and flames and rubbish coming off of it. But it was just a test cast anyway. Overall, it's got possibilities. I'll clean it up and just see what lies underneath, and then we'll have another look at it. that's it. Mission complete. The test piece worked out good. The whole process worked fine. I'll have to investigate the foam side of things. I'm not sure that foam is as good as I could be using. Any comments on the foam or anything to do with this, let me know. In the end, I just machined it up in the 4-jaw chuck, faced it up, rather than set up the vertical mill slide and muck around with a fly cutter. And it came pretty good. It did a nice square job of it. Yeah, it's good. So overall, I'm quite happy with this, and I'll now move on and make a bigger piece for the project that I'm working on. I've had a rethink on the project, and I'm going to change the original design a bit. There's a limit to what I can swing in my lathe, so I can't cast the whole thing up, so it's going to be a bolt up setup. But anyway, when I do it, when I get it done, I'll show you what it turns out like. And yeah, that's the beauty of metalwork. You can cast your own metal and save money, and yeah, learn along the way. It's an interesting subject, very interesting subject. Okay, well, I hope you found it interesting as well, and I'm off to lunch. Cheers for now, and see you next time.